Hello boys, welcome back to another interesting video tutorials, and this session is meant for class 12th biology students, and this is for 26th December 2020. As we all know that we are training ourselves in arriving at the correct answers for pattern questions, assertion and reasoning. So as part of it, today we are going to reflect upon the chapter number 4, reproductive health, and in that chapter the likely assertion and reason questions. When we are discussing this assertion and reasoning, it goes without saying that the concepts also get repeated that are there in this chapter. So once we know the concept, it is very easy to answer assertion and reasoning. So lot of logic works out here. Hence, with a logical mind, you need to answer such questions. Directions, as usual, you know it. Answer A, if both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Answer B, if both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Answer C, if assertion is true, but reason is false. Answer D, if both assertion and reason are false. So with that in our background, here we go. Question number 1, assertion. Introduction of sex education in schools should be encouraged. Reason. Sex education in schools will encourage children to believe in myths about sex-related aspects. So this must be perfectly C. Why C? Assertion is true. Introduction of sex education in schools should be encouraged. And reason is false because he says, see, children to believe in myths. That is not the aim of introduction of sex education in schools. Okay. Hence, answer should be C. Introduction of sex education in schools should be encouraged to provide right information to the young children and to discourage them from believing in myths. See, discourage them and having misconceptions about sex-related aspects. Hence, answer should be C. Question 2, assertion. Periodic abstinence is a method in which couples avoid from coitus from day 17 to 27 of menstrual cycle. I think this is wrong. Reason. Periodic abstinence is a very effective method and 100% sure of birth control. Not so. So the both are wrong, hence answer should be D. Periodic abstinence, as you know, is a natural method in which the couples avoid or abstain from coitus from day 10 to 17. What is that it is given in assertion? 17 to 27. 10 to 17 of the menstrual cycle, when ovulation could be expected. The effectiveness of this method is limited because only a few women have regular menstrual cycle, and thus the actual time of ovulation cannot be predicted, as the ovulation in humans occur about 14 days before the onset of the next menstruation. Hence, answer should be D. Question 3, assertion. As long as the mother breastfeeds the child fully, chances of conception are almost nil. Okay, correct. Reason. Lactational amenorrhea method is based on the fact that ovulation does not occur during the period of intense lactation. Reason also correct. So the answer has to be A. Lactational amenorrhea, that is absence of menstruation method, is based on the fact that ovulation and therefore the cycle does not occur during the period of intense lactation following parturition. Therefore, as long as the mother breastfeeds the child fully, chances of conception are almost nil. Next, question number 4, assertion. In barrier methods, ovum and sperms are prevented from physical meetings. Okay, correct statement. Reason. Barrier methods are used during coitus to prevent the entry of ejaculated semen into the female reproductive tract. So the answer has to be A. In barrier methods, ovum and sperms are prevented from physically meeting with the help of barriers. That's why barrier method. Such methods are available for both males as well as females. Condoms are barriers made of thin rubber or latex sheath that are used to cover the penis in the male or vagina and cervix in the female just before coitus, so that ejaculated semen would not enter into the female reproductive tract. This can prevent conception. That's why the answer for question number 4 has to be A. Question number 5. Assertion. Diaphragms, cervical caps and walls are barriers made of rubber. Reason: diaphragms, cervical caps and walls are inserted into the male reproductive tract during coitus, during the male reproductive. Look at that. That must be wrong. So this has to be C. That is, diaphragms, cervical caps and walls are barriers made of rubber that are inserted into the female reproductive tract, not male, to cover the cervix during coitus. They prevent conception by blocking the entry of sperms through the cervix. Hence, the answer has to be C. What about question number 6? Assertion. Pills, okay, chemical ones, are very effective contraceptives with few side effects. Of course, side effects will be there. Good. Reason: pills inhibit ovulation and implantation as well as retard entry of sperms. This is also correct. And reason is the correct one. So this has to be A. Question number 7. Assertion. Saheli, very famous, of course. You must have been seeing the TV advertisements. The new oral contraceptive for the females contains a steroidal preparation. Reason: Saheli is taken daily without a break. I think assertion also wrong, reason also wrong. This has to be answer D. Saheli, the new oral contraceptive for the females, contains a non-steroidal. There what we said in assertion, steroidal. So it is non-steroidal preparation. And it is not daily. As all of you know, you recollect from your memory, it is once a week pill with very few side effects and high contraceptive value. Now question number 8. Assertion. Sterilization is a terminal method used only for males. Sterilization. Reason: sterilization is highly effective and its reversibility is very good. I think both these statements are wrong. Assertion as well as reasoning. So answer has to be D. Sterilization is generally advised for both male as well as female partners as a terminal method to prevent any more pregnancies. These techniques are highly effective. But their reversibility is very poor. But in reason what we are saying is very good. It is very poor. Hence, both the statements are wrong. Answer has to be D. Question number 9. Assertion. In vasectomy, remember vas deferens, cutting of vas deferens, vasectomy, a small part of the vas deferens is removed or tied up. Reason: in tubectomy, that is, the fallopian tube is cut. Cutting of fallopian tube, insertion in tube, fallopian tube. So in tubectomy, a small part of the fallopian tube is removed or tied up. So both assertion and reasoning are correct, but reason is talking of tubectomy, assertion is talking of vasectomy. So it has to be B. Next, question number 10. Assertion. Second trimester abortions are much more complicated. Reason: after 12 weeks, that is, after 12 weeks, the fetus becomes intimately associated with the maternal tissues. So this has to be, both are correct, and reason is also a correct explanation. So answer has to be A. MTPs, that is medically terminated pregnancy, is comparatively safe up to 12 weeks, the first trimester of pregnancy. It becomes more risky after the first trimester period of pregnancy, as the fetus becomes intimately associated with the maternal tissues. Hence, answer has to be A. Question number 11. Assertion: syphilis, gonorrhea, and AIDS are STIs, sexually transmitted infections, or sexually transmitted STDs. Reason: syphilis, gonorrhea, and AIDS are transmitted through sexual intercourse. So both assertion correct, reason correct, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. It has to be A. Answer A. Question 12. Assertion: infertility is the inability to produce children in spite of unprotected sexual cohabitation. Reason: infertile couples could have children using ART, that is assisted reproductive technologies. So assertion is correct, reason is correct, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Why? Here we are talking of the ART, there we are talking of the unprotected sexual cohabitation. Next, question number 13. IVF, in vitro fertilization, is fertilization outside the body of women. Reason: the zygote up to 8 blastomeres could be transferred into the fallopian tube. So here again, this has to be assertion correct, reason correct, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion, so it has to be B. In IVF, that is in vitro fertilization, ova from the wife or donor female and sperms from the husband or donor male are induced to form zygote in the laboratory. The zygote is allowed to divide, forming 8 blastomeres. The zygote or early embryo is transferred into fallopian tube, that is ZIFT, zygote intrafallopian transfer. Hence, answer should be B. Next, question number 14, that is assertion. IUT, intrauterine transfer, right? IUT is transfer of embryo with more than 8 blastomeres into the fallopian tube. Reason: IUT is very popular method of forming embryos in vivo. So question number 4, I think assertion wrong, reason wrong, so it has to be D. In IVF method, popularly known as test tube baby program, ova from the wife or donor female and sperms from the husband or donor male are collected and introduced to form zygote under simulated conditions in the laboratory. The zygote or early embryos with up to 8 blastomeres could be transferred into the fallopian tube through ZIFT, and embryos with more than 8 blastomeres into the uterus, that is IUT. This is in vivo fertilization. IVF fertilization outside the body in almost similar conditions as that in the body, followed by embryo transfer ET. Hence, assertion, reason both are wrong. Hence, answer should be D. Question number 15. Assertion. Intracytoplasmic sperm injection, ICSI. Lot of abbreviations in this chapter. So sometimes you get 1 mark questions. Expand. So take care of that. Is a procedure to form an embryo in vitro. In ICSI, that is intracytoplasmic sperm injection, sperm is directly injected into the ovum. No, it's not so. So the answer is B, that is assertion correct individually, reasoning also statement correct, but reason is not correct explanation because we are in assertion, we are talking of a procedure to form an embryo in vitro. Here we are talking directly injected into the ovum. So no connection between this. So this is how you answer or arrive at a conclusion based on the